Welcome to the Northern Premier League Goal Show for Saturday, the 21st of November. We start at the Newman Stadium. Radcliffe continued their terrific run of form at home to Basford United. Ben Wharton got them underway inside just 2 minutes from close range.
And it's in the back of the net after just under 2 minutes. Plays it forward.
It was a pretty open game as both sides marked the Rainbow Laces campaign that a lot of football are embracing over the current weeks. A few chances, Tyree Sinclair going close. Wharton maybe would have liked to have done better with that chance as well. Basford had chances of their own, couldn't find the equaliser, and then in the final 20 minutes of the match, Radcliffe made sure of the 3 points. Sinclair riding that tackle and then firing home from just inside the box. And then Matthew Wolfenden in the 90th minute got the third. Radcliffe have now won 5 straight games in the league. John Macken, their manager, a very happy man.
Defensively, once again, I thought we were bang on it. And the strikers, the subs. That's what I keep saying. It's a team game, it's a squad game, and the subs come off. And they played a massive part in it. So it's really pleasing to get the 3 points and to get the goals as well against a very good side.
At Marston Road, Hyde United travelled to face Stafford Rangers following the departure of their director of football, Darren Kelly. The first goal came on 13 minutes. Chris Sharp finishing sharply from 14 or 15 yards out. Stafford hit back though. Just 9 minutes later, Jack Sherratt scoring their goal. But it was going to be Hyde's day. Paddy Lane hammered home a screamer from the edge of the box. Picked that one out. That was 2-1 on 53 minutes. Hyde had a chance for a third with his free kick. And they duly obliged Leon Tung. It wasn't the cleanest of strikes, it wasn't the cleanest of goals, but they all count. A deflection off a defender, flying in. Hyde United win that one, 3-1. Ashton United parted company with manager Jody Banham after this defeat. A 4-0 loss at home to Nantwich Town. The first goal for Nantwich came on 16 minutes. James Laurie from the penalty spot, in off the post. And it was the 3 second-half goals that secured it for the Dabbers, a defender leaving that cross for a simple finish for Callum Saunders. That was the first of his 2 goals. Here's his second. A tapping at the back post again. The defender would have wanted to have done better. And then veteran striker Ricardo Fuller with 15 minutes to go weaved his way through and found the net from a tight angle. Banham and Ashton parted company by mutual consent on Monday evening.
Great win. Probably came here today not expecting to win 4-0. We needed the points, obviously. But yeah, great performance. Not an uneasy place to come.
Bamber Bridge welcomed Morpeth Town. And after this early run from Alistair Wadicott resulted in him being brought down, Matthew Dudley curled in a lovely free kick to give Brig a first half lead. And Dudley would claim his second on 57 minutes, chasing after a long throw, beating the keeper outside the box and giving Bamber Bridge a cushion. And then James Dean, who's been in great goal scoring form since joining Bamber Bridge, he added another one for his tally 7 minutes from time to secure the 3 points. Another team displacing of their manager after this game was Scarborough Athletic. They were beaten 3-1 at Witton Albion in what proved to be John Deasy's last game in charge. Billy Smart, his screamer, gave Witton an early lead. And then Will Jones smashed home a free kick on 62 minutes to give Albion a 2-goal advantage. Scarborough had a bit of hope when Walshaw scrambled one home here after it was bouncing around in the box for a while. A few calls for offside. But just 5 minutes after giving themselves the lifeline, the Sea Dogs conceded a penalty and upset Adam Anson, sending the keeper the wrong way to give Witton a 3-1 win. Stalybridge moved up into the playoff places with a 2-0 home win over Buxton, and you guessed it, this was another last game for a manager as Buxton manager Paul Phillips tendered his resignation in the aftermath of this defeat. Ross Dent scored the first goal to put Stalybridge ahead. They could have had a second but didn't quite manage it, but it did come eventually. Darius Asai capitalising on some sloppy possession play at the back from Buxton. It gets back to him eventually, I promise, and he fires this in. 48th minute. Stalybridge up to 5th in the table. Limited programme, Mickleover's game at home to Warrington Town was postponed, as was Whitby's at home to Grantham due to the weather. And then there were multiple teams in FA Trophy action, which meant a limited Premier Division programme. Not much change at the top. South Shield still there, a point clear of Lancaster City. Then it's Baseford and Warrington. Stalybridge sneak up into the playoff places, but Nantwich and Radcliffe finally poised in 6th and 7th. They're playing catch-up on games, and they've certainly got plenty of points on board so far. At the bottom, Stafford are at the foot of the table. Gainsborough have enjoyed a little bit of a revival under new manager Curtis Woodhouse, but weren't in league action at the weekend. And then Buxton finish off the bottom three. Atherton Collieries pulled off a fantastic FA Trophy win at home to Boston United at the weekend. In the Northern Premier League South East Division, there were 7 games. Chasetown 2, Lincoln United 2. Michael Jacklin's 90th minute equaliser rescued a point for Lincoln after George Cater's brace had cancelled out Daniel North's first half opener. Jacob Hazel scored a brace in the final 8 minutes as Frickley Athletic beat Spalding United 2-1. Christopher Aziamale's goal was enough for Market Drayton Town to win 1-0 at Glossop North End. Leek Town were held to a 2-2 draw by Stamford. Belper Town continued their good form in the league. They're plenty of games behind too. They won 2-1 at Loughborough Dynamo. Sutton Coldfield Town came from behind to win 2-1 at Newcastle Town. And Ashley Grayson's 90th minute equaliser capped off a comeback for Sheffield, who were 2 down. 2 goals from Danny Draper in as many minutes in the first half give Wisbech a 2-0 lead, but they had to settle for a 2-2 draw in the end. Carlton Town weren't in action, but they still sit top of the league. Stamford would have been top if they hadn't conceded late against Leek. They'll have to make do with second place. Belper starting to catch up now. They're in 5th. They're in the playoff places and they have games in hand on everybody in the division. At the bottom, Newcastle at the foot of the table on 9 points. Market Drayton Town now up to 17th. They've started to shrug off that really poor start to the season that prompted some changes at the club. In the Northern Premier League North West Division, 6 games to talk about. Brighouse Town were 4-0 winners over Mosley. Thomas Haig, Usman Cham and a brace from Luke Rawson for them. City Liverpool 2, Widnes 2. Anointed Chukwu scored a brace for Widnes. Kendal Town 2, Pontefract Collieries 3. There was 4 goals in the first half there, and the Yorkshmen went away with the spoils. Tom Greaves scored 2 for Ossett United as they held off a fight back from Prescott Cables to win 3-2. Ossett did lead 3-0 in that one. Tadcaster Albion defeated Droylsden 2-0, and there was 8 goals scored by Trafford as they beat Pickering Town 8-1. They scored 4 in the last 5 minutes of the match. Jordan Johnson got 2, Curtis Miller got 2, and Darius Palmer got 2 to record a win as they climb the table. Workington still top, followed by Marske, Marine and Clitheroe all on 24 points. Trafford round off the playoff places, but they're level on points with Tadcaster and Pontefract, with Brighouse just a few points further behind. At the bottom, Pickering remain at the foot of the table with just 5 points from 16 games. Dunstan as second bottom. They've got 8 points from 8 games, but really struggling to get any league action in. They've suffered a spate of postponements, but also had plenty of commitments in the Cups, as have Colne, who sit 16th and were bravely beaten by National League North side Southport in the FA Trophy at the weekend. There were 7 games involving Northern Premier League clubs in the FA Trophy at the weekend. There was a second qualifying round replay between Lancaster City and Stourbridge. Unfortunately, the Dolly Blues were beaten 2-1, so they bow out of the competition. Stourbridge go on to play South Shields in the third qualifying round. There were 6 games in the third qualifying round played on Saturday. We mentioned Atherton Coles beat Boston United 1-0. Southport beat Colne 3-2. Colne did lead 2-0 in that game. Gainsborough lost 2-1 at Darlington. Matlock were 2-0 winners at home to Redditch United. In an all-Northern Premier League clash, FC United were 3-0 winners at Runcorn Linnets. And reigning Northern Premier League champions Farsley Celtic won 1-0 at Workington. That means there are 4 Northern Premier League clubs in the draw for the FA Trophy first round, and they all got home draws. Stourbridge or South Shields, of course, they'll play their third qualifying round game shortly. They will be at home to Southport, whoever wins that one. Matlock Town are at home to Chorley. FC United are at home to Kettering Town, and Atherton Collieries are at home to the high-flying Barrow. The games will be played on Saturday, 14th of December. I'm led to believe Atherton Coles in the run-up to Christmas will have had home games on 10 consecutive Saturdays. We're looking to see whether that's the record. If you know, if you can shed any light on that one, please do let us know. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.